Hey everyone, Amina here with the Float Small Business Podcast, speaking with filmmaker and educator Ryan Koral of Studio Sherpas and Tell Studios about some of the ways his businesses have been impacted by COVID-19, but also how diversifying his approach has strengthened his response. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you've got two businesses. How different are they
Yes.
from each other, and how do they tie into each other?
Tell Studios is our video production brand where we help businesses tell their story, mostly by creating videos and doing strategy workshops and stuff with them. And then 4 years ago, I started another company called Studio Sherpas, where I basically took all of my knowledge for the past 16 years of running a video business, and I help other video business owners that are trying to grow, scale, and experience some freedom in life. Because if you've ever been a part of a video company, Amina, you know,
Uh-huh.
you know what that can be like.
Yep.
So, I basically have taken all the things that have worked really well over the last 16 years and all of the things that have not worked well. And I share that. I have a weekly podcast, and we have some digital courses and stuff that people engage with. And I think it's working. A lot of people say my business is better off to your teaching and your help and all that stuff. So it's pretty fun.
That's awesome. So you've diversified.
Yeah.
It seems to me that by diversifying the approaches, people seem to be better poised to survive crises like the one that we're in right now. Are you finding that?
Yeah. I'm super thankful that I have a consulting business that is aimed to help people when they're, struggling in their business.
Yeah.
And then, our video production business really kind of almost halted back in like mid to late March. And we've been way slower there. But, the way that my brain works, and I would say a lot of entrepreneurs, it's like, okay, like there's a challenge here. How do we overcome this challenge? How do we, like, what do we need to do? How do we pivot? How do we shift? How can we be helpful? How can we survive? How can we add value?
Yep.
All of those things are constantly going around in my brain nonstop.
What are some of the answers to those questions that you've found along the way? How are you adding value? How are you balancing the difficulty with opportunity?
Well, I mean, one of the first things that we did was we reached out to like all of our clients and just, to check in, to see how they were doing, to see where they were at. Were they closing? Were they fine? Were they unaffected?
Yep.
I mean, everybody's been affected at some level, but financially, some businesses are just like, we're in a position where people really need us right now.
Sure. Yeah.
So it started with, conversation, just reaching out to all of our favorite clients, our best clients, and checking in to see how they were doing, and then follow up with like, is there anything that we can do to help you, to serve you, anything that would be that value add for what you guys are trying to do. And so we hosted a couple of webinars that in the digital marketing space. That for us was very helpful, but the idea is that it would be very helpful for our community, the people that we're trying to help. And then we hosted a virtual summit that was like a 2-day thing, and tons of conversations around like, how can we help in this, current situation? How can we add value to our clients? How can we not just like not have a mindset of how do we survive, but is there like, can we thrive in this? And not in a way to like, take advantage of the situation or people or anything like that, but holistically, like how can we do what we're created to do in a way that brings value to people that say like, I have money and I will give you money for that because that's going to help me. That's going to, advance what we're trying to do. And that's all I have to say about that. But I think in the spirit of what has happened for our team and in our community, is that I think some people are operating out of, we're not sure if this is going to work, but we know it's the right thing. And I had that inside my mind, I had that conversation multiple times. Like when this is all said and done, I might not have a video company anymore. I love my employees. I love the people that I work with, and I love that I get to employ them. Like that's a great feeling. But at the end of it, like we may just not be a business anymore. So we just try to think through like how do you how do you add value in a way that it may not be adding to the bottom line, but it's the right thing to do, it's the timely thing to do, and there may not be return on it. The direction that we decided to go, say like, hey, we've got some key clients that if we can help them right now, because these are like big companies and they do awesome stuff. We said if we feel like if we were ever in a really hurting spot, that we could actually like reach out to them and just say, can you throw us a bone? Like, is there something? And they would do whatever they could to help us. And not to make us sound like heroes or anything, because we didn't do anything crazy like, wow, like I can't believe you guys did that. We extended and said like, hey, would this be helpful? And one company said yes, and these guys said yes. And so we did those things as a like, hey, it's a small gesture, but we've got the bandwidth right now, and you guys are important to us, and we want you to know that. And then I'm thinking, normally it's like, what's the ROI on any of this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe we should be working on marketing material or, but we decided to invest in a relationship and in what we already kind of knew and had. And still like, the jury's still out. They adore us though. They're so grateful and so happy for the stuff that we're able to do for them. Mm-hmm. So, that's just one of the things that I'm learning. It's like, I may lose this whole thing, but at least the people around me know what's most important to me, and that's them, right? It's not just like, is Ryan gonna make his salary and like be fine to keep living the way that he is? But to just lay it out there and just say like, I don't know, but we know right now that this is the right thing to do.
And that's why I am so happy that we've kept in touch all of these years and that I have a person like you in my life, because the world needs more of this. It's thank you. Just thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I assume that those gestures that you extended, were they free?
Yeah.
So if they were free, which, thank you for that, by the way, because I'm sure that was incredibly needed for those clients. But as a business owner myself and as a creative, I've also seen the damage that can be done by providing too many things either for free or for discounted rates, because you risk devaluing your service, your product, whatever it is that you're offering. So on one hand, like, absolutely. Invest in those relationships. People need generosity right now. I'm all for it. But just to play devil's advocate for a second,
which is what you do so well.
Took did you take a risk there a little bit in devaluing your brand, or do you feel like it added value? And if so, how did it add value when there would be so many other consultants that would tell you, don't ever give anything away for free?
Yeah. Well, I think I've adhered to that advice, like don't give stuff away for free, but it's different when it's like, we give money to charity, like, and we expect nothing in return, like literally nothing. We just know that these are the kind of people that we want to be. These are the kind of kids that we want to have, and we want them to see that we do this as a family, as people. We sacrifice some of the hard work and the energy and the money that we have, we give that away. We just give it away and we don't expect anything back. To not give stuff away for free. Yeah. Like I think the heart behind that is like, your work is valuable. Yeah. But you also need to know your work is valuable. And at some point, like if you want to really add value and be helpful, like sometimes that's how you do it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they love you now. Well, they loved you before, but
yeah, but the notes that we got from them were really nice.
There's nothing like, sometimes I teach and preach, every good story needs conflict. And there's something very special about taking a really, really, really hard situation and making something beautiful out of it together. Thanks for doing that, Ryan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love your heart behind this whole thing. It's awesome. So thanks for doing this.
Thank you. In the conversations that you've been having with people, whether it was at your summit or you're sitting down with other creatives, you've mentioned that you were asking questions. How can we help? How can we add value? What do you need? What does the community need? What have been some of the most frequently responded answers? What do people need?
As we're asking those questions, part of the encouragement was like, don't just give them, if they only need your ears to be able to talk and to be able to rant and scream and cry and, be frustrated, that can be enough. That might be all that they need. And so I honestly feel like that's what nobody really gave us, like a clear call to action. This is what we need. Besides, we need everything back to the way it was. Like that's what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
Right. But we couldn't give that to them. But I think what everybody appreciated is that we just put the brakes on business as usual and just said, we're here. We want to support you. If there is anything, that we can do, we want to be able to do that. Whether we, fail or succeed in the world's eyes, that they're for us and they're going to be with us on the other side. So I think that's been one of the unsaid things that has happened through this whole, like, let's open this conversation of like, how can we help you and serve you? It's way better to not feel like our clients are in this separate world, but like we're together. And if they don't want to be, like, that's one thing, but we're going to do what we can to let them feel like we want them to succeed in more than just this project that we've worked with on them.
Yeah.
Worked with them.
Have you been working from home or something? Well, I can say with a lot of confidence that you are going to have a business at the end of this, because it sounds like you are. You're not putting ROI in terms of financial return at the forefront, but I think that the return on your interpersonal investment is going to pay dividends in all kinds of ways. And eventually down the road, I'm sure that it will result in the longevity of your businesses. I know it.
I'll take that to the bank. Thank you.
Okay.
Amina said.
Amina said.
Always listen here.
Yep. Buck stops with me. I
love it. Thank you for that.